Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We have Randy Clark here joining us from Randy Clark and Associates, and excited to have him here, hailing from the Dallas, Texas area, helping men and women with hair replacement. And really, it's all about getting that perfect look, the best quality, the best people. And of course, you can't afford this. It's amazing what he does. He's helped change lives for so many years, and he's a staple in the community and, known worldwide. Welcome to the show today, Randy. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. For those that don't know you yet, tell us who Randy Clark is and what you do.
I have a hair replacement studio in Dallas. I've had for almost 44 years. And I do hair replacements for men and women with female and male pattern baldness and some alopecia.
See, you don't look like you've been in business for 44 years. He doesn't even look 44, but amazing. Wow, this is exciting because
I wish I was 44 again.
I know. That's about my age, but I'm 46. I'm 2 years away. But still, you're changing people's lives for the better. And, just a little bit of your background. Could you share what got you into this?
I actually was in high school and I was trying to think what I wanted to do for a living, and I had broke my leg in some sports, and I happened to go pick up my mother at a beauty salon, and I don't know, there was just one person that was working and enjoying themselves, having fun, and I thought, if I could do this, I could at least enjoy myself and have a good time, and I never dreamed it would grow into what it has.
Wow. Well, here you are, and, so well established in the business. And, hair replacement is a very sensitive subject for both men and women, but it's changing lives, right? Could you share, the process when someone comes in for that free consultation, by the way, yes, a free consultation, what is it like, and how do you and your staff treat that person?
Well, actually, my receptionist greets them. And then they fill out a form, and then they put them in my office, and I go and visit with them. And usually, in most cases, the consultations are people who have already heard about me and actually met someone, and they want to get it.
Perfect. So the biggest part of promotion for you, right, and advertising is the clients themselves, the family, their friends that get to see it. And that's the Randy Clark and Associates difference, right? It is the quality. I mean, these hair pieces take, like 2-3 months to make. They're all hand done, and they look 100% real. Could you share a little bit about the quality and the looks that you offer?
Well, it's 100% custom. We offer lace and skin pieces. Majority of our product is lace because of Texas is such a hot state, and the skin pieces don't do as well in the humidity and the heat. But we will order anywhere from 250 to 275 units a month for clients.
Wow.
And the average client gets a new system every 3 to 4 months. We have some that get more often. We have some that get a little less. And then we also have about 5 or 10% of the clientele that's the old hair replacements, daily wear that, they've been doing it forever like that, and they're happy with that.
Well, clearly you love what you do. And I love this fact, too. If you haven't heard of Randy before, he actually underwent the transformation himself to participate in what it feels like. He shaved his head, right? And you tried it. He's gifted with a beautiful head of hair, right? We all have our own gifts and talents. But you did that for a year. Tell me how you felt and how that experience changed your life and the way you're working with your clients.
It made me really realize what they're under, how they, when you get out of a car, or if you're in the wind or the rain, the first thing you want to do is go into a bathroom and make sure your hair doesn't look terrible. It's a psychological thing, and it affects them differently. For me, it helped me really understand what they're going through, and it also helped me explain to them that, really, we are our own worst enemy. We think the worst rather than hope for the best, and this business has taught me so much. I mean, I was the perfectionist like you would never believe prior to this business. And now I'm like, it's not a big deal. I got a coffee stain on my shirt, not a big deal. And the hair replacements that we do on the bonded, if we're totally 100% given the opportunity to do what's best for the client, even the worst circumstances, it looks natural.
Oh, I love this. Well, it is beautiful, and there's great client testimonials, and it's all about making that person happy. And again, yeah, losing your hair could be heartbreaking, frightening, and it's glad to know that they can trust in someone who has an amazing reputation, who's been here doing the same thing, for all these years. And let me ask, over the years, what has changed in the business of hair replacements? Has anything changed much? The adhesives, the bonding, the process, the making. Share a little bit about that, how things have changed over time.
The biggest change was around 90, 98, 97, 98. That's when the bonding really came full circle. Before that, we were doing perimeter bonds, and it was a different type of piece that did not give you a great look. It was a good look if you wore a lot of hair, but if you were someone that was very recessed and just needed a real thin head of hair, the pieces were real bulky back then. But then when this lace product came along, it totally changed everything. You can make it as much hair as you want for the person who still has a good amount of base hair. And then for the person who's really weak in the temples and weak all over, you make it thin enough to it blends with her hair.
And it's natural hair you're using?
Natural hair.
And really, you're customizing it. So for ladies that have highlights or want highlights, you got it. For men who want that salt and pepper look, you got it. It's all customizable. And you can also make them thicker or thinner depending on the person's natural hair quality and what they want.
I had a gentleman in 2 weeks ago that's been wearing hair forever. He's 74 years old, looked terrible. And I made him a piece, and it was so thin when you looked at it before I put it on him that it looked like it had no hair on it. But he was very thin. And when I put it on, cut it in, it was amazing. You could see through and see his scalp. He needed this because where he'd been going, his hair was so thin, and the system they made for him was so thick, it just looked like a rat's nest on his head. I mean, it was awful. He was so happy with the results, because finally he had something that looked natural and looked good. And what's really funny about it, I constantly try to talk the men into not coloring their hair, because when they color their hair, and he didn't, he went with solid white like he should have. When they color their hair, it's hard to keep the two in line all the time, because when you color someone's hair, it's got to be touched up every 2 or 3 weeks minimum, because that part's gonna fade. The system's not gonna fade as much. So I constantly try to convince my male clients to go with your natural look.
And speaking of, you mentioned the rat's nest look. All right, that's not happening the way your pieces are being made. And let's talk about the maintenance and care so they don't get to look like that. What is the process of taking care of your piece? How often should we be washing it? Do we dry it? Do we conditioner it? Is it special shampoo, special products, or can we use regular products?
And what I recommend is they wash it on a daily basis. Some want to push it, okay, and go 2 or 3 days, which is fine. At least condition it and clean your own hair. In other words, shampoo your existing hair. But when you do shampoo twice, rinse it, towel dry it while you're in the shower. Women should do this even with their own hair, with long hair, because when you're putting conditioner on soppy wet hair, 80% of it's going down the drain. So especially for a woman who has long hair, they should towel dry their hair in the dryer, in the shower, and then condition it really well, and then rinse it off. Because if they put that conditioner, again, like I just said, on soppy wet hair, it's just going to go down the drain.
Yeah, you taught me that, and I did that when I washed my hair the other day. Good. I literally not only towel dried it, I walked around for a little bit, did some laundry, so it was a little extra kind of dry, and then I put it in, and then I went back in the shower because I had the time. And honestly, it was so much better. You don't realize that. You put it in too quick while your hair's too wet, and it's falling right out. Even if you brush it through, it's still sopping wet, and it's just falling down, so the water's staying in. So thank you for that tidbit. I appreciate that. Yeah.
It works really well.
Well, can I ask you this? Once you have a piece made, especially for women, let me just say, right? Can you actually add highlights to it after the fact if you wanted to? Can you?
You could, but it's not recommended, because the bleach that we use is so strong. It's better to go ahead and have that natural color already put in there.
Got it. All right. Good to know. Randy, at this time, let's remind everyone all the ways we can reach out to you.
Randy@randyclark.com is my email address. www.randyclark.com is my website. And
Got
my
it.
phone number is 972-239-0291.
And your address, location?
5000 Corum Drive. That's Quorum, Dallas, Texas, Suite 360.
But your clients are coming in from all over the world, which is awesome.
Yes.
Before we continue, let me just ask, holiday season's here and always a great time. And I feel like I told you, I think last week, like what I want self-care. And to me, self-care is getting my hair done, my nails done, my face done, facials and all. I just love those types of gifts. And at this point, I would suggest to someone out there who has a loved one in their life, this is a beautiful gift. If you can swing it, send them in for that consultation. Let them see what it feels like to look like themselves again and to feel good and get that self-confidence built up. And speaking of holidays, do you mind me asking, what are your plans for the holidays? Where are you with your family? What are you doing?
Just going to hang out in Dallas this year.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. And it's all decorated. It looks gorgeous, right?
Yes.
And what is the temperature there, by the way?
See, today it is about 62.
Okay. All right. Wow. I need a warm Christmas. Unfortunately, it's a little colder than that in New York. But okay. Randy Clark, excited that you're here again, helping so many people. And let's go to the women aspect of it. Now, you have mostly male clients, I'm assuming, but a lot of women now too. And what are some of the things the women need and what are they suffering with?
Well, we probably 60% male, 40% women, and the women are just have female pattern baldness. They are really thin on the front, top, and crown. I had someone just recently that I went to that I've known for a very, very long time, female, that has lost her hair on the top, and it's really bothered her a lot, and she's looking into it. She's in her 60s, and what's really sad is it's right here. She's got the crown area, but it's just right here, and she handles it better than most people, but she is considering doing it. It's an alternative for her. One thing was now for her, everybody cannot afford it. That's the sad part about it, because some people just don't have the budget to spend that bond, because what it costs to bond, you're looking at anywhere from, $3,500 to $5,000 a year. So some people just can't see spending that. And not many, but they do. But in her case, what I recommended to her was doing the daily wear, like we talked about, what your father does, correct?
Yeah. Well, he did. He gave up years ago on it, and he went to the hair club for men, that national place, and he was just so miserable because he would swim, but it was getting all ratty like a rat's nest, and I'd find him in the yard laying out trying to tan, and he would just lift it up and be like, "I'm done with this." So his license, and he's 74 now, still has the picture of him from like 20 years ago with a hairpiece on. And we just laugh at it because it looked horrible. It looked like a dead animal. And that's unfortunately the taste he had with it. He never went back to try anything again. Now he's older. He doesn't care about that. He's happy to be alive. But back in the day, it was very, it drained a lot of his self-confidence. And then he had people at work that were heckling him about it because it looked so fake, And I'm just glad to know that there's alternatives nowadays to,
what's sad is, rather than heckle somebody about it, just go tell them, hey, it's not looking good.
Yeah. So it really destroyed his self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to know that there's
That's sad too, because I see so many people that this has just completely destroyed their self-confidence, and not all of them. I mean, some of them are able to deal with it, okay, but still, no one wants to lose their hair.
It's so true. And it's, I don't know. I just find with a national type of franchise like that, that's not customized, it's not one-on-one, it's so good to have, someone like yourself, a business owner who is hands-on, and you're there. You're with the clients. I mean, most of the time, right? I mean, yes. I know you're being the boss man, but you're still there. You're not just, you didn't pass it along to A, B, and C. You're there, hands-on.
very involved.
Well, what else do you want people to know about, these hair pieces and this natural looking hair restoration that you do?
It's very natural. It's easy to wear. The only downside is you have to come in for service every 2 to 4 weeks. And if that means enough to you, it's worth it.
Well, you've been doing this for so many years. And let me ask, people come in, do some of them contemplate surgery? What have you heard about the surgeries, the ultimate fix?
We constantly get clients who've already had the surgery because it doesn't give them the look they want. And so we end up shaving the plugs and putting a system on.
Wow. And that's a shame because, you told me, I didn't know much about this, but the way they do it, right? You're left bald in a certain area because they're taking follicles from a certain area anyway, right?
They take the donor hair is below the occipital bone in the back of the head, and there's only a small little area they can take it from. And in most cases, they take enough to where you have just a frontal look that looks normal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's behind you, the back, the crown of your head's bald. And then the hair in the back where they took the donor hair is real thin and it's flyaway. You can't get a good haircut out of it.
Wow. And let me ask, random question. Some men like their facial hair. Do people deal with facial hair loss too? And do you do mustaches or beards or no? It's just the head.
There are some people that do it. It's a hard business. But people don't have near as much problem with facial hair loss. That usually is if you have like alopecia totalis or universalis or something like that. But if someone came in and wanted me to make a mustache, I would say no, because the cost would be so high and the longevity of it's not good. So it's not a good dollar for dollar. It's just not a good deal for a person.
Got it. All right. And, I love the fact that your clients keep coming back and they're passing the good word along to everyone. Give us another client story. You have thousands upon thousands of clients, and I've read some reviews that were online and people could do that too, but give us another story about someone that you've helped.
Oh gosh. So many of them. I'm trying to think. There was one client that even with a hairpiece, he was young. Even with a hairpiece, he wasn't happy, but he happened to have a hair loss just in the front and not in the crown area. And I told him he needed to go to Houston because there was a doctor in Houston that was doing some really good transplants. And he asked me if I would go with him. So I took him down there and we met with him and he got the transplants and worked out really well for him. But, probably only 1% of the population are really good for transplants. It's someone who still has hair from about here back and they just need some frontal hair put in. And in his case, it worked really well. But I've only seen, like I said, a few people that it would work for.
Wow. And, this is a lifelong commitment, right? Do people, though, sometimes after a certain amount of years realize, I want to try the bald thing after a while? Or are most of your clients diehards and they're never changing? How does it work as we are aging? Do people getting less self-conscious about how they look or they want it till the end?
I think in a lot of cases, anyone that's bald is not happy with it. And if they've not done anything about it, but it's one thing, but usually what happens is they meet someone, they meet a client of mine, or or a client of mine says, hey, I know you're not happy with your hair loss. You got to do what I'm doing. And they're like, do what? I wear a hairpiece. And they'll come in. So I would say 90% of my new leads are referrals.
I love it. I love it. Do you ever take a break? Are you guys closed for the holidays? I mean, people want their hair replacement done, but they want their services. So what is the schedule like?
We work 38 hours a week, and what I do is I pay them 40 as long as they show up on time. So we work 38 hours a week. We work Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 8 to 2:30. So that gives us like 2.5 days off in my mind. We've got Sunday and Monday off, and we're out of the office by 2:30 on Saturday. So they've got part of Saturday to have some fun with. So we have a good working arrangement, and I'm actually thinking about reducing it to 4 days and doing like some 9-hour days and just working 36 hours a week. So, but I've got a great crew, and we like I said, we run 25 to 26 people a day through the office, and it's working real well.
Oh, good. And people out there, again, the gift of the holidays, gift cards work. Is there any specials we should know about, or is it the same price all the time? Or do you offer like any type of discount special for New Year's or something?
No, we're pretty much the same price all the time.
And what are some misconceptions you find that people think about hair pieces that, really what's, the stigma is, I think the old way they used to look and be like, I told you about my father, but is there any other misconceptions? And like, you really could do everything. Let's talk about that.
The biggest misconception is you can only see the bad work. You don't see the good work.
Ah, that's the perfect way to look at it. Yeah. That is a great point. So no one even knows they're wearing anything when they look at yours.
You only see the bad.
Oh my gosh. Well, in our last few minutes here together, and I know it's the holidays, and the best thing about, what you do, it's got to be how you're making people feel. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but could you share a little bit about that?
Oh, it's not just how I make them feel, how they make me feel,
Oh.
It works both ways. I mean,
Oh.
I do what I do because I get paid for it and I like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're appreciative as well.
Oh, wow. And now you mentioned the two different types, the lace, and then you mentioned what's the other one called?
Skin.
Skin.
It's a polyurethane base where they either tie it through a silk or it's looped through, but it's so thin that when you lay it on the skin, it you can't see it. You can't see it. It's invisible.
But so you're saying okay.
Well, the thing is here's the difference: is the skin piece front hairline is the best looking hairline. Okay, lace looks as good. I think it looks better, really, but the people are so fixated on that front hairline. But the only problem with that skin piece, when you put the bond on there, the glue, after about 10 days, it breaks away, where the lace, it doesn't. So
Got it. So more upkeep, quicker upkeep due for the bonding. Got
yeah,
it.
the lace just to me is just such more natural look.
Natural, sexier look, I'd say.
Sexy if you want it to be.
Yes, of course. And so again, in the colder climates, that's probably a good thing to do. The lace, though, in the heat is really what you have to do. Then you're in the Dallas area, you're going more for the lace. If you're up north in Canada, maybe you can get away with the other.
You send me somebody with a skin piece on, and I'll have them in lace, and I'll steal them from you.
I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. And in continuing, obviously, you just love what you do. How many people would you think that you've helped over the years? Like we're talking,
Oh my gosh!
can't even say thousands. Can I say hundreds of thousands?
I mean, I have.
How many people a week are in your, studio or in the salon? What do I call it? Your office.
We'll see 25, 26 people a day.
I'm not good at math, but 25, and you're probably open 5 days, 6 days a week?
5 days a week.
Holy cow. I can't. I don't have my
125.
calculator. A week.
Huh?
Times 4.
Mm-hmm.
So 500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
There's 12 months in a year. So 500 times 12 is what?
But some of those are repeats because they're coming back.
True. But holy cow.
But we have some that, like I had a client in from Jersey 2 weeks ago, and he comes in every year and gets 4 to 6 pieces.
Wow.
What's funny about him is when he moved to Dallas from Jersey, he he knew all these clients that flew in to see me, and he says, Randy, I'm going back to Jersey one day, and when I do, I'm not going to be coming back. Within a year, he started coming back.
See?
He was not happy with what he got in Jersey, so he comes back now.
I love it. Well, you keep them coming in because you have good service, great people, and it's commitment and quality all in one. All right. So how are we going to leave off for today, Randy? Someone out there who's interested in a meeting with you, what would you say?
I would say reach out to me, and we can talk over the phone a little bit and then come in for a quick consultation and then decide if this is something you would like to try or not.
Perfect. And just again, if they are coming in and they do want to proceed, it takes about how long to get your first piece?
It takes about 3 months, sometimes 3.5, to get the first piece.
And that's because it is 100% customized, hand done, right?
Well, not yes, that's true, but it's also, I mean, it's ever since the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, and even back in the 80s when I started, it took 5 to 6 weeks to get them, and then when we converted over to overseas to China, it went from 5 to 6 weeks to 6 to 8 weeks, and then after the pandemic, now we're at 3 to 4. We're at 3 to 3.5 months.
God bless. Wow. All right, Randy. RandyClark.com. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Are we back again next week?
No, next week, the following.
All right. So then I'll see you next year. Is that how we roll?
See you next year.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Randy Clark, pleasure having you here. And we'll chat soon. Enjoy the holidays, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.